What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about climbing sticks for hang-on tree stands. But first, before I get to that, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my subscribers out there. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, for commenting, for liking videos. For those of you that I know in person, for giving me comments and feedback out, or even texting me with stuff that you think about the videos, or even suggestions or ideas for upcoming future videos. So thank you, I really appreciate it. So now, let's roll on in and start talking about climbing sticks. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about kind of the progression of how I have come along through my years of hunting that led me to the climbing sticks that I'm probably going to use the majority of the season. So when my hunting first started, it was like probably most people did whenever they were younger. You start off in ground blinds or sitting at the base of a tree, and then from there I progressed on over the years into ladder stands, because ladder stands seem to be, you know, kind of the first next step that people took to go into tree stands. They inherently have a little bit more safety features about them. They're more sturdy. Most of them nowadays anyway have a shooting rail, so if you're the kind of person that's a little bit afraid of heights or whatever, being up in that ladder stand kind of gives you a little bit more of a sense of security. Well, I decided I wanted some more, you know, flexibility. I wanted to be able to move stand locations a lot easier instead of having to move a 60 to 100 pound ladder stand into a different area, which often takes two people to do. I wanted to be able to do that with hang-on stands. Plus, I liked the way that hang-on stands allowed me to stay concealed up in trees. So that was kind of the progression of how I got to my hang-on stand hunting, you know, kind of progression. I know folks that are just now getting into hang-on stands, and they ask me all kinds of questions about, there are so many stick options out there. How do I know which ones to go with? Well, I'm just going to kind of walk through the various stick options that I have. There are way more options out there on the market that you can get, but a lot of them kind of fall into these same sort of kind of general types of sticks that there are out there. So the first kind I'm going to get into is probably the cheapest style of climbing stick. And this is just one section. This is a 4-foot section. This is a Big Game brand climbing stick. And this comes in 5 pieces. And they have this recessed end up here where it's a little bit smaller not diameter, but you know, it fits inside of the other end down here. And they stack on top of each other. They're fully connected to one another. There's a bottom that has like a T-plate on the bottom of it, that's what rests on the ground. And then the top also has a T-bar that you can either grab whenever you get to the top or whatever. This set, it comes in 5 pieces, 5 4-foot long pieces, so that way I can get 20 feet high, but they weigh a combined 18 pounds. So the 5 pieces plus the straps come in at 18 pounds. That's not very lightweight. The good thing is, this is the kind of stick that I would recommend probably to somebody that doesn't want to put a lot of money into their stick setup, and if they're planning on putting sticks up and hanging stands at the beginning of season and leaving them up all year. This is probably the cheapest option out there, is this style of stick. There's lots of manufacturers that make sticks like this, but this style is probably going to be your cheapest option out there. After this style, what you've got, and they're kind of noisy, you know, they're all you know, tubular steel. These are typically steel. They're not aluminum or anything like that, and they're kind of noisy if you bang stuff into them. But anyway, there's that style. The next cheapest style are these larger, heavier steel individual sections of sticks. So this is a Hawk Ranger stick. This was my next step up in climbing sticks. So I kind of went from that style that allows me to put sticks up to a stand and leave them up all year and not going to move them. This was the next style that I went into, just trying to find what worked for me. These were a little bit more expensive than those style, but these come in, there's three of these in a pack, and I forget what the overall length is, but the 3 of them, depending on how much I space them apart on a tree, I can get to, I'm going to say, roughly 10-11 feet pretty easily with these sticks here. They have the standard Hawk, I think they call this the over molded rubber hooks, but the way these work is the same as many other styles of climbing sticks. And then you just hook them around the tree, and first of all, let me show you this direction. You see, it doesn't really have any kind of teeth on the standoff. So this part right here, the part that touches the tree, is called the standoff. This is what keeps your stick off the tree, and then obviously you're going to stand, you're going to step on these parts here where your boot goes. So keep in mind, pay attention to the shape of this, because the type of standoff is going to determine how well it bites into a tree, as well as the shape of the foot platform, the foot pegs, or whatever you want to call them. They're going to determine basically how much foot room you have when you're climbing, but also the kind of grip you're going to have. These have little, not very sharp teeth on them, but they grip boots pretty well. But anyway, this stick, pretty simple. Wrap it around the tree. Get your hook here. Take it, cinch it down, and then you've got to set the stick in the tree. So, and because this doesn't have any teeth in it, it doesn't really bite the best. It takes a while for it to set. This is another style of stick that after I got it and started using it, what I started doing was I did the same thing with these as I did with the assembly style sticks that you stack together and put in the tree. I take these out at the beginning of season and I put them up and I just leave them in the tree that I'm planning on hanging out of. I may move them one time during season if I'm in an area that isn't producing the way that I thought it would, but these sticks are rather heavy, same as, like I said, those are 18 pounds for the 5 sections. These come in at, I think these came in at around 11 pounds for the 3 sections. So still, if you're carrying a hang-on stand in, whether it be aluminum or steel, you're going to be looking at anywhere from probably 10 pounds to 18 pounds maybe, or even 20 pounds on the higher end if you're buying just a steel frame stand. You're talking about adding up a lot of weight. So if you got a 20-pound steel frame stand on your back, plus you're carrying in 3 of these sticks, plus you're carrying hunting gear in, you're going to have a lot of stuff on you. So just something to keep in mind. But once this bites, it does do a pretty good job, even though it doesn't really have teeth on the standoffs. So this is the next style. A lot of manufacturers out there making sticks like these. So after I went with that Hawk Ranger stick, my next progression up to try to become more of a mobile hunter was I bought a Muddy or Big Game. I can't remember. They really, Muddy and Big Game were kind of the same family of tree stands for a while, but they had it's called the Bravada tree stand, and it was a aluminum base with a cast steel upright support and seat frame, basically. So it wasn't that bad. It was considered to be a lightweight packable stand at the time whenever I bought it, and I think it came in at around 15 pounds or so. So it was lighter weight than those 20-pound solid steel hang-on stands that they had, but it still wasn't, you know, lightweight compared to what today's stands may be. And keep in mind, whenever they list those weights, most of those tree stand manufacturers don't include the weights of any seating material, whether you got a foam pad. They don't include the weights of straps or anything like that on there. So they're a bit misleading when it comes to that. But I wanted to be more mobile, and so I bought that tree stand, and then I bought these Muddy Pro sticks, and I really thought that I was on top of the world when I bought these things, because they were considered to be, you know, they were Muddy Pro sticks. I really thought that I was getting some of the best that you could do, and I can't tell you how many times I would hunt on public land or even here on private on the farm, and I thought, and we've got some pretty big, there's a 400 feet elevation gain here on the farm from the lowest point to the highest point, and a lot of times I would park down at the lowest point and I would walk up to that highest point. That's a 400 feet elevation gain in less than half a mile that I would walk in every morning and every afternoon. And I was carrying my stand with me. I did the same thing on public land around here. Some places even more of an elevation change than that. And I had these sticks that I thought were just the best thing ever strapped onto that stand. Well, I carry 4 of these in. I've only got 2 of them here with me together currently. And you see they're just kind of lashed together with the cam lock cables that came with them. So they use just cam lock straps to secure to the tree. You see they've got a little bit more of a tooth structure down here on the standoff. The steps, I do like the steps on them quite a bit. You know, they flare out. They've got a little upward motion to them there to help kind of catch your foot a little bit more. They've got little teeth on them. They don't really flare out from the base at all, but these really work pretty well. I've used these for many years now. But these sticks, they bite the tree really well. A lot of times once I get this cam lock strap secured down tight and I stand on them and get them to bite into the tree, when I take the cam lock strap off, a lot of times the sticks will still just be hanging there. But these sticks come in at around 2 pounds 8 ounces a piece. Now Muddy and Big Game, like I said, they both kind of were hand in hand there for many years. They did come up with a newer version of this stick that instead of using these cam lock straps, they actually have a rope, and they've got like a little cam mechanism here where you run your rope through it, and then whenever you bite it down, it bites down on that rope, and so that's what secures you to the tree. It's a little bit lighter weight. My buddy Gabe, we just did a video recently with him and his Tethrd 1 sticks. That's what he has, is that style of these pro sticks, and they're a little bit lighter weight. They're a little bit quieter because you don't have the rattling of the cam buckles here going on. But this was my next progression in climbing sticks, and like I said, when I bought these, I thought I was, you know, the stuff, because I was more mobile for sure. I was definitely more mobile than I was with either of those. But man, by the time I climbed 400 feet elevation gain in less than a half mile with the tree stand on my back and 4 of these sticks, you know, you're looking at, by the time you put 4 of these sticks and the straps on, you're pushing 11 pounds plus the 15-pound stand. You're looking at, you know, and the strap for the 15-pound stand, you're looking at 26, 27 pounds plus all your hunting gear, gun, bow, whatever you got, change of clothes or extra clothes for layering. I mean, you were carrying a lot of weight in, and I was getting quite the workout in carrying all this stuff in. But these were the Muddy Pro sticks. So after I used those Muddy Pro sticks for several years, I decided, okay, I'm going to have to make a change, because I found myself one time hunting on a WMA with a buddy of mine, and we were climbing up a steep hill, same thing, nearly 400 feet elevation gain getting to the top, and it was very loose, uneven terrain, and I got up there and I had all that stuff on my back and just get absolutely winded by the time we're up there, and I find myself starting to stumble, and I've got all that weight, because by the time you have your tree stand on your back, and then you've got 4 of those sticks stacked outward from there, and then I had hunting stuff lashed onto the back of that backpack, I was significantly out of balance. My center of gravity had shifted so much that it was really wearing out my midsection and my upper thighs trying to climb that ridge. So I was like, I got to do something different. So what I've done now in the past couple years is I went to, for my public land hunting and my mobile hunting, whether it be with the saddle. When I talk about public land mobile hunting now, for the most part it's a saddle, but I do still occasionally use climbing sticks and hang-on stands in a mobile setup. It all really depends on each individual location and what the setup is like, and if there's favorable conditions for my saddle, or if it's more favorable conditions for a longer set in a hang-on stand, because I am more comfortable for longer periods of time in a hang-on stand. So what I do now, for the most part, or what I have been doing anyway, is I've been rocking these Novix sticks. They only have one, you know, the foot comes off on one side or the other, so it's a single stick. These sticks are super lightweight, so the 4 of these sticks here weigh about the same. The 4 of these sticks actually weigh less than these 2 sticks. And you know, there's not a whole lot of height difference between the 2. These sticks are about 2 inches taller than these sticks, but the weight difference made it so much more worth it. The only thing I have to say, and you see I've got my loops on here from where I put these in hooks as I'm going up on my saddle, and I have my saddle on, and then I just hook these sticks on my side. I take the first 2 sticks off, set them, and then go on up. But these are super lightweight, but they are tubular aluminum, so if you bang them into each other, they do make quite a bit of noise. My buddy Gabe did get me some stealth strips, and I'm probably going to stealth strip these just to try and quieten them down a little bit, and it'll help hide them some as well. What I don't have on here is these have cam lock straps that you put through this button. You put around this button here, sling it around the tree, hook it over the button, and cinch it down. There are modifications out there you can do where you can switch these out to different styles, where you can use steel ropes and other things like that to further reduce the weight. But when it comes to these sticks here, I was so used to carrying the heavier sticks in and dealing with their cam buckle straps that when I went to these, it still wasn't worth me switching out and getting away from those cam buckle straps. So the standoff on these, it's got a pretty good standoff. You see here, the teeth on them, these sticks really bite in the tree really well. Like I said, the foot peg, it does have a slight upward slope to it regardless of which side you switch it to. So that works. You just have to think about it though when you're hanging when you're hanging these sticks, because if you're putting your sticks here and you're going to put your stand or your saddle right up here, you've got to think about, you know, when I get to the top, is my saddle platform or tree stand going to be on this side of the sticks or this side? Because you've got to move this last step to be the opposite of that. That way when you get up there, let's say that you're up in the tree here like this, your sticks here, you're going to have your foot on this step, because then you got to swing your foot over and up onto the platform of the tree stand or the saddle. So when you're dealing with single steps like this, you've got to think about that sort of thing, and you've got to kind of plan that down at the ground and orient your steps in an alternating manner until you get to the top, so that when you get to the top, you're on the right side of the stick with that proper foot, so you can step over onto the platform. Really good sticks. I got them at a deal whenever I bought them. I had a discount code that made them a really good bargain. They've went up in price since then, just like everything else has. They've went up quite a bit actually, but they're aluminum with a polymer standoff and a polymer step as well. But so rocked these for a couple years, really happy with them. This year though, I'm trying something a little bit different. They're not quite as light as those, but I'm thinking I'm really going to like them. And these are the Tethrd Skeletor sticks. And I'm probably going to do a separate video just on the Skeletor itself. But these sticks here, number one, their standoffs are insanely aggressive. These things, I've only used them twice just for hanging trail cameras, but these standoffs are crazy aggressive. I mean, I don't know if you can see that very well or not. I'll try to get close-ups of stuff on camera, but these things are sharp. They bite into the tree like crazy. The steps here, what I like too about the steps is look how those steps flare outward away from the tree. If you're using sticks on a tree that's, once it gets to a certain size, then what happens is if your steps go perfectly perpendicular with the tree, your toe of your boot ends up hitting the trunk of the tree, and you can't really get as much foot on the step itself. Well, when you flare the step, you're actually moving the step away from the tree some, and you're allowing more space for your boot to contact that step. And the other thing about these sticks is these are actually using the steel rope with this containment system here to attach to the tree. So number one, much quieter than the cam buckle system. but it's also so much lighter weight too. So I just take this, stick it on the tree, pull this Amsteel, and Amsteel is extremely strong stuff, guys. So I'm not worried about this thing holding up my weight or anything like that, okay? But what I do is I actually wrap it through a couple times, take it through, because you got this tag in here that you're going to want to do something with, but just take it and I try to get it out of the way eventually here. But there's this thing here. There's a certain way of wrapping it, but then get these steps down, secure that in the tree, and there you go. I mean, this thing, these sticks with those standoffs and the way those teeth are on them, these sticks really bite in the tree hard. Like I said, they're not as lightweight as these, but they are quieter and they are faster for me to put up in a tree than these are. And they're a double step, whereas I said these here, when you're up in the tree and you're trying to put your tree stand up, there's lots of different techniques and tricks to hanging a hang-on tree stand that I'm not going to go over in this video, obviously. But what you're going to see is when you're up in that tree, it's a lot easier to work on that stand if you've got both feet on the same platform like this, and you obviously have your lineman's belt on you on the tree to keep you secure. But got bark in my mouth. But you're sitting there working on the tree, it's a lot more stable and steady if you've got both feet on the same platform and you're in your lineman's belt secured to the tree and you got both hands here working on that tree stand. I'm really looking forward to trying these sticks out. I'm probably going to do a separate video on these, like I said, just because there's so many features about these sticks. And what I'll do is I'll get Gabe to come over with his Tethrd 1 sticks, because this is a lower price point than his Tethrd 1s. And we'll kind of just walk through the differences between his premium Tethrd 1s and then these Tethrd Skeletors, which are probably more of a upper mid-range price point for climbing sticks. Anyway, that's just kind of the progression of how my, process was going from starting with hang-on stands to where I'm at now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I realize this video is probably not for everybody out there, but if there are guys out there that are questioning all the different styles of sticks, why do I need this kind of stick? Or would this kind of stick here work better for my application because I'm only on private land and I'm not moving stand locations? You can get away with a lot heavier, a lot cheaper, or a lot lower price point stick if that's the kind of hunting style you have, versus if you are strictly public land and you're needing to carry your stand in with you every day and carry it out with you every night. Because when you do that, you will be suffering, because of if you buy a lower price stand and a lower price sticks, that weight begins to add up. And there's lots of other tricks you can do to make these go a little bit further, like going with single step and double step aiders that will get you even higher with fewer sticks. I haven't done that yet. It's something I'm going to have to look at and think about, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now on this. Anyway, thank you for watching. Drop any comments or questions you have below. If your hunting season has already started, hope you've already got one. If it hasn't started, then good luck this year. Good luck if it has started, whatever. You're probably still hunting out there, but I wish you the best this year. Have a safe hunting season. Wear your harness, safety belt, lineman's belt, whatever it is you're using. Falling out of a tree is a good way to ruin not only your hunting day, potentially your hunting season, and even your life. Thanks for watching. God bless.